So, Canada's oldest rape crisis center has had its funding rescinded in Vancouver because they are refusing to allow trans women into their centers. And, this is hilarious. Now, they lost, I don't know, $40,000 of their budget, which is like $1 million a year. So, they'll be fine. They'll still be able to help a lot of women. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit, right? First of all, how many men shelters are there out there? Not very many. There's more than enough women shelters to go around, and they get enough funding from the government. But, this is just what they deserve. This is what a lot of women in Western countries get for voting for leftist leaders, for more and more government, for more of this social justice bullshit. This is where it was leading. It was leading to you having to deal with dicks in your face in the locker room. That's the road we were heading down, whether you realized it or not. Right? And then now there's some other woman who is mad because she had to wax some tranny's balls or something like that. But this is what you guys want. This is inclusion. This is diversity. So, I'm for this. I'm for trans rights. I think we should put trans in all of women's sports so then we could really, prove to women that there is a difference between men and women physically. And then they can see it firsthand. They can feel it firsthand in a UFC fight, 1-on-1, or on a football field, right? Let's diversify this shit up. But honestly, I don't feel bad whatsoever. And the trans community is celebrating this because they're like, oh, they were transphobic. This thing, which I doubt they are. Like, I agree. That's fucked up. They shouldn't let trans people into these things and in bathrooms with random women. But who votes for this stuff? Statistically, it's generally women. I wonder, it's a lot of feminists I see, the ones bitching about this. There's a couple statements from the article I was reading. It's like, more recently, in January, a talk at Vancouver Public Library, Lakeman said to me, this discussion of inclusion is really the conduct of backlash against feminism. So apparently the whole thing about inclusion is really a backlash against feminism. And here's another one. Female rape victims deserve female-only services. Nothing but respect for Vancouver Rape Relief for withstanding years and years of targeting by males. A truly disgusting decision. So now all males are going to be blamed for this when it's trans men that the majority of regular straight men do not support. But these males, there's more toxic masculinity and all this shit. You're like, okay, like no, this is what you wanted. You wanted this world, so stop fucking complaining about it. But once again, a lot of women, they want one rule for other people and another rule for them. They want all of the rights, but with none of the responsibilities. Oh, well, I have to let these people into my bathroom, and I have to be inclusive. Oh, no, we should just have you do that, or have white men and men be more inclusive, and we need to cut them down from positions of power and put us there instead. Well, you know what? If you're for these types of tactics being used against the men in your country, then don't be surprised when the law comes down on behalf of transsexual people over you. Like I said, this is the world you wanted. There's that one woman, or all those women where that trans guy was trying to get them to wax his balls, and he had a case. He actually brought it, and I'm pretty sure like he won, or he at least it made a lot of these women pay him money. So it's like, yeah, I'm for that. Maybe this will wake people up. And like I said before, there's plenty of women shelters already. It's like there are no men ones. So maybe the funding that was going to go towards these people. They can go and open like a little tiny men's shelter for men to go in occasionally. But no. Fuck men. They're toxic masculine. They deserve what they get. We don't need to help them. Blah blah blah. Oh, why are they going nuts, shooting everybody? It's because they're privileged and whatever. Let's not address the problem. Just keep pushing it in the corner. But hey, we got 100 million shelters for women over here, and I'm sure somebody's gonna look at this and be like, oh, this guy clearly hates women and resentful towards women, which I'm not. I'm just saying the reality, right? I'm just saying the truth that, women, they don't understand a lot of what they're voting for down the road. People made these arguments years ago. The slippery slope argument. They're like, guys are going to pretend to be women, to go in your locker rooms, to see you dress, to see you get changed. And this has happened. This shit happens all the fucking time. Oh, no, how could you say that? You're just a bigot. You're just a racist, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have all these transsexual men teaching our kids. That's I'm definitely against. Teaching our kids in libraries, because those kids didn't vote for it. They had nothing to do with it. They should have to suffer the consequences. But there was like a while ago, this one transsexual guy, turns out he was or charged with like assaulting children or like pedophilia or something like that, and he was working in a library with kids dressed up in his whole trans thing, and it was, I don't know, it was in the news about a week ago or something. But it's getting too far, and women need to understand this. They need to understand that the things that they're promoting is leading to this. So that's why I'm for it. I'm like, we need to put more trans people in sports, in this. We need to remove all of their funding. If they don't support trans men, they don't take them in and shit. And eventually you'll see feminists will be the biggest non-supporters of transsexuals and stuff. And I'm not even against transsexuals either, or gay people. I have nothing against gay people, or if you want trans people or whatever, but they're not a protected class, like they're trying to make them fucking out to be, or like they've become in Canada. No, you just dress up like a woman or a man. You're cuckoo, you're crazy, essentially. You're nuts. I'm sorry to say. Like, I have nothing against you. I have nothing against crazy people, right? But you're nuts. And we shouldn't have special accommodations for you because you're crazy and you have gender dysphoria. And a lot of this stuff with the whole gender dysphoria too is insane, because 4 out of 5 kids who have gender dysphoria end up growing out of it at one point or another. But now you got all these kids getting taught, oh no, well, you are a boy and you are a tranny. So they go and they get all these surgeries early on. They get put on medication earlier on, where they're just confused kids. I saw this one story, this woman who was a teacher, and she was teaching all these autistic students, and all of them became transsexuals because of this whole, gender thing. Then they brought the kids into like a gender specialist, which just means I'm going to convince your kid to be a transsexual and to cut off their dick and do irreversible damage to them and possibly make them even more fucked up. But they don't give a shit, right? Nobody gives a fucking shit. They just care about themselves, and they care about their own rights and whatnot. And I'm not against rights, but we have a lot of things in Canada and in Western countries that people have a right to, which they shouldn't have a right to. A woman, a man, people, they don't have a right to a home, okay? You don't have a right to health care. You don't have a right to an abortion at the expense of other people. right? And their money, and their hard-earned money. You know, you don't have a right to steal things. But you know, this is the way the system works right now. This is the way people think it works. Well, if I just vote enough, we get enough people vote for us, then we can legally steal all these people's shit and redistribute it. And they can't say a fucking thing about it. And we could legally change the laws and favor women and all these other people. Well, now there's a new person in town, or a new cowboy in town, and that person or that cowboy is the transsexual. So women, you gotta move over. This is the new oppressive minority class. And, you know, I'm surprised white women have not fucking woken up to this shit already, especially white women. You know, like, you guys are right under white men. You know, you know, if they don't go, it doesn't go white man, black man, Asian man. It goes white man, white woman. Then, like, I don't know, Asian man or something like that, right? You know, you're right below us. So, you know, think before you push all of this cultural Marxism and all this bullshit on us, because you're just gonna have to wax a bunch of men's balls in the future, and you can't say anything about it because we're gonna fucking fine you or throw you in prison for it. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.